Welcome to the Trailchasers podcast. This episode is brought to you by Nexen Tire and Icon Vehicle Dynamics. This week on the show, we practice our social distancing and do a couple video conference calls. We start off with a conversation with Matt, Jose, and I, and then we roll into another conversation with Jeremy and Tyler from Icon, Jason DeMello, Rory from Trigger, and Trigger Controller, and Christian from Shift Pod. So be good out there, stay safe, stay 6 feet apart. We'll see you on the trail soon.
It's time for the Trailchasers podcast. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Trailchaser, we're out to chase your adventure. Trailchaser, our time is now.
Chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure.
Oh,
So with that noise, as we're trying to be,
that was a hot take.
Hey, was that a?
yeah, what was that, Jose?
That was
Dropped my phone on the table.
So we are live on YouTube and kind of on Instagram, but
Put a mirror on your phone so you can see what the paper says.
yeah, on Instagram the only thing you're going to see is me. On YouTube, the only thing you're going to see is Matt and Jose. We are in quarantine. It is what's today, March 23rd, 2020. It's the second week of the apocalypse. The CDC has decided that Matt and Jose are dangerous and they can't be in my house and because they'll infect me. So
That's not what they told me. They told me to stay the hell away from your house. Who's closer to Corona?
yeah, true. So
You're at the epicenter, dude.
to follow the outlined the guidelines of the government and CDC and set good examples for community, we decided to do this remotely and not have the guys in the studio. So Jose's at his house, Matt's at his house eating Cheez-Its, and we're streaming it live. So quarantine.
I had a hot dog for lunch today. That was like at 10 o'clock. So I gotta get my snack on.
Okay, as long as you're not crunching in the mic.
Let me know if I'm crunching.
Okay.
You can't hear anything.
No, you're good. So quarantine day, I don't know, what day is this? Day 8, I think.
It's like Captain's Log.
Yeah. I was seriously thinking about starting a daily log of this is what's going on in the world. But yeah, so I think it's technically last Monday I was in the office in the morning and then went home half day. So I've been working from home since last Monday. Tammy's been home since Tuesday. Presley's been home since Tuesday. So it's been the three of us in the house for a week. Unintended consequences of the coronavirus. I am doing dishes like twice a day. Like because we're staying home and eating, we're constantly filling up the dishwasher. You're not ordering. You're not using paper plates. Like we don't have a whole lot of paper plates, so we're using plates.
What's a dishwasher? I'm Mexican.
Oh, okay. I was going to say a horribly misogynistic comment, but I won't. She'll listen and she'll hit me. But seriously, we are using so much in dishwashing, like the dishwashing process, and then the house. It's like the house explodes every day. There's only 3 of us here, but my 4-year-old is like a tornado. And we're trying to keep her entertained and at the same time keep the house clean. And it's a losing battle, man.
Yeah. Are you keeping? Well, I don't know how often press goes outside, but we've kept the boys inside since like Tuesday of last week, and it's pretty rough. I think it's pretty rough on them.
We went
I'm sorry, we went to the park on Saturday just to get them out, like let them go run around. And we figured we'd just try and keep our distance from people. And it was weird because, it's a pretty good sized park. And
Wait,
everybody
hold on. Letty is on Instagram and she said, say it, Cody. And I was going to say, Letty, that Jose should be doing the dishes if he knows what's good for him. Go ahead, Matt. You were at the park?
Yeah. Sorry, Letty. It was just weird how everybody just agreed to, or keep their distance. Like there were 10 families there, equally spaced across, just enough space to like throw a football around or whatever, with your kids, and everybody kept to themselves. But it was actually pretty exciting. We're at the park, we're outside.
Yeah,
it's been weird for me and Letty because it's been business as usual for us. Both our employment, like they keep on trucking, and so nothing's really changed for us. And we're lucky. Our employment hasn't shut down, so I'm grateful for that. But it's just weird. Like everyone else around us was like they're at home, but for us, like we go to work every day, and so nothing has really changed for us. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, we went out, the family, Presley, Tammy, and I went for a walk on Saturday. Tried to jog. Went again on Sunday. Like we're trying to do something like that. But to your point, man, as we're walking around the neighborhood, I'm noticing a lot of people walking around the neighborhood. I think people are trying to just get some kind of exercise and sunshine. But as you're passing people on the sidewalk, there's this clear understanding of, look, you go that way, I'll go this way. And it is weird. But I mean, I've been, I like I said last week, practical caution. I'm trying to be abundantly cautious at this point. I've had to go out a couple times for work and stuff. Today I had a whole bunch of stuff in my garage that was for this event we were supposed to go to at work, and the event got canceled, and I just wanted to get the stuff out of my garage. So no one was going to be at the office today. I threw it in the back of the truck. I drove to Lake Forest from my house, which
20 minutes.
On a normal day with traffic, if you leave at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, it's anywhere between an hour and 15 to an hour and 45 minutes. We were there in 40 minutes. COVID traffic is the best traffic. I got to tell you, man, it was like an early morning Christmas. There was no traffic on the 91 freeway, no traffic on the 241. I took the girls with me just to get them out of the house.
Somebody needs to clip this section and then hold it against you. How you love coronavirus. It's great for you.
That's not what I was saying. But I took the girls with me just to get them out of the house, and we drove down, dropped the stuff off at my office, and then came home. But other than that, we've been pretty much staying inside, or at least staying home. We went in the spa this weekend just try to keep Presley busy. But I mean, for the most part, it's been just kind of a lot of movies and playing games with Presley, trying to keep stuff busy.
You guys ever watch yourselves eat?
Not too often.
Because I'm doing that right now. It's pretty
every day.
I'm watching.
How come you told me what I look like when I eat?
Because you look like you normally look when you do anything.
I didn't look like this.
You look like the Cookie Monster.
It does. That's pretty frightening.
Oh man. So I mean, so this week is weird. You guys will hear later after this segment. Jeremy from Icon and I were going back and forth throughout the course of the week, and it was like, hey, let's do some content, let's get out on the trail, let's do some video, some stuff, and kind of provide something that's exciting for people to watch. And then it was like, should we really go out now? And then come Thursday night, the guys and I, Matt and Jose and I, tested what we called a campfire chat to see how that would work using the similar setup that we have now. And then Friday night, kind of impromptu, Jeremy was able to put together Jeremy and Tyler from Icon, Jason DeMello from DeMello Off-Road, Rory from AAC and Trigger Controller, and Christian from ShiftPod. And we jumped on the Hangout and just started having some conversation about what's been going on in the world. And it's a really good conversation, and it's, it's fun, but it's also very real about what's going on, and the stuff we were just talking about, how weird it is outside. And
did you tell them how much you loved it because there was no traffic? What did they say?
I think I did, maybe. I don't remember. And now the traffic is becoming less and less relevant because I had a job meeting scheduled this morning that got canceled. I had a job walk for a new job that got canceled. I do have a job meeting on Wednesday that has been confirmed that will not get canceled. So I'll have to go back out Wednesday. But no, it was a good conversation about and getting their perspective of how all this is impacting them as manufacturers and businesses and what had distributors and what have you. So thanks to them for doing that. It was kind of a last minute thing, and it went really well. But as far as us, I mean, we can continue doing this as long as we need to this way. But I mean, it's definitely not the same as having you guys here in the studio.
Nah, I'm way funnier in the studio.
Oh, are you?
All my best material comes out in the studio.
Yeah. There's less food in front of me in the studio.
So with that, I do want to announce that the Tacoma got sold this week.
Oh, man.
So I'm excited about that. The guy that bought it seemed like a cool guy. He's a local firefighter guy. Hopefully he joins us on a couple runs, but yeah, I mean, it couldn't have come at a better time. With everything going on, and the luxury and travel business isn't great right now for people that work in hotels. So that
was a great truck, dude.
Dude,
I mean, he got a good truck, dude.
He got a good truck, and I'll be honest, I sold it for less than I really wanted to. I think it was worth more than that, and had this been a different time, I would have held out a little longer or tried a little harder, but it just made sense to let it go for that price. And I truly believe that he'll put gas in it and drive that thing for another 100,000 miles and have a good time in it.
For sure.
So, but I will say that I've been having a lot of thought about an overland trailer. Like we've talked about, after towing the one that Syndicate made, and I've been looking at the little Smitty built Scout, the little short boxy one that you put a rooftop tent on. I really like that setup, and I was thinking, man, I found a truck bed trailer for like $400 on Craigslist, and if I had kept the deck out of the Tacoma, I could have got that truck bed trailer, put the deck in the back of it, put a camper shell on it find another one for $400 on Craigslist, and then put a used rooftop tent on it. And that would have been like totally dialed in. But it is what it is. It's,
talking about trailers. So I was watching a Syndicate Off-Road, trailer review, walk around of their trailer. Dude, you know how we kept calling it the Asrex 1?
Yeah.
They hyphenated the A and the S. So, 'cause it was just AS before, right?
It was AS-Rex 1.
Yeah. But now if you go on the video, it's A-S. We're influencers. We make things change.
Oh,
we're the bad.
We're sorry. We're sorry, Syndicate. We love you guys.
Yeah, it was Jesse Rizzo's YouTube page, and there's a walk around on there.
Yeah, I think Jesse's actually on the YouTube at one point. I thought I saw him. But yeah, I mean that's a good call on their part. The AS Rex 1, as opposed to Asrex 1.
It could be the STD number 1.
We should make some stickers, like measure them up and weight, and like next time we see them and we're hanging out, just like put it over it as an overlay that literally says ASS-RECKS-1 and just put it on there, or get them a custom plate.
Yeah. That was just so funny, dude. I was watching, I'm like, they hyphenated the AS.
But I'm kind of looking at that small utility box overland trailer with a rooftop tent on it. I think that might be a good way to go.
I think that's the move. Just keeping it as light as possible. Like no thrills. Like no thrills, no frills. I don't need a small like toy hauler. You know? I don't need a toy hauler. I just need what's up?
Diesel tent heater.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get Andre so we can fabricate a diesel generator back there. But yeah, the as minimal light as possible, I think is the way to go with that kind of stuff.
Agreed. Light, nimble, whatever. I mean, I'm a ways away though. I mean, we're not making any big decisions like that anytime soon. But looking at that Smitty built Scout, and then there's one call, I think it's Vector Off Road makes one. Like, I'm sure they all make them, but that Smitty built Scout seems like a compact, versatile, usable trailer with throw a tent on top of it. But, so we'll see how that goes.
I have to put a hitch on my truck. I don't know if I want. Do I want to do that? I don't even have a hitch on my truck.
You know what? Neither did the Ford. I couldn't believe it had tow package, but it was there was a bar underneath. Yeah,
tow package.
Finger quotes.
It had the tow package.
And the so underneath the standard bumper, there was a full-on bar. Like it looked like a hitch bar, but it didn't have a receiver on it. It just had the hole in the middle, so you put the ball in the flat part of the bumper in the center. And so when the Syndicate trailer thing came up, I was just going to do that. And they're like, well, we don't use a standard ball receiver. They had that special latch.
Articulating
latch and lock. So I had to order a receiver from Amazon, and it bolted right up. It was super easy to do. I did by myself. And then it came with an adapter. I bought an adapter for the 4-plug to 7-plug. And but yeah, I was really surprised that it didn't have a true receiver. But it's on there now.
Oh, man, I had a football joke right there, but I just let it go. I was too busy eating Cheez-Its.
There's no more football, dude. It's ended. It's canceled.
Everything's canceled. That's what sucks. Baseball's supposed to start this week. No dice. Now it's like sit at home, watch Netflix.
Dice isn't canceled. You can roll dice all you want.
All right.
So I saw a meme that it said all sports fans, and then below it said day 7 with no sports. There's a nice young lady sitting on my couch. Apparently she's my wife. She seems nice.
Yeah.
And then did you see that ESPN turned one of their channels into the Ocho? So the Ocho from Dodgeball? So it's ESPN, the Ocho, and they're playing like slippery stair climbs from college frat parties and dodgeball and like all the random stupid quote sports things that you can that no one can has ever seen. They're playing it on the Ocho.
Yeah, the meme game is strong right now because nobody has anything else to do. So.
Yeah,
the internet video game is strong right now.
There was another one that said it's really sad to know that that what you call normal lifestyle people call quarantine, like not talking to people.
If it weren't for work, this is pretty much just sitting at home watching TV is probably what I'd be doing anyhow. Except getting out and wheeling. Which. Did you guys talk about that?
We did. We had some conversation about the question was brought up. Is
acceptable?
It socially responsible to promote people to go out and go wheeling? And everybody has a different take on it. The part for me is that, and I think I may have said it during the conversation with the guys, is that if you leave your house and you know that you don't need gas, you don't need to stop for food, you're going straight to the trail, you're 100% positive you're not going to break down or need emergency help, and you're going to get back to the house without having any interactions, maybe. But the minute you like most of us, you leave the house, you got to stop and get gas. So you have to get out of the car, you have to touch the gas pumps, you have to, that the minute you do that, you're giving.
I'm sorry. You know what the hard thing is? At this point, because I don't know anybody with coronavirus yet, it's just being, factual, or this is just how I perceive things. It's kind of hard to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to be responsible. And like all those things you just said, like, well, I go get gas. I still go to work. I'm going to the gas station twice a week anyhow. But you're right. That's one less time that I'm exposing myself or somebody else. But this is still like, it's still not. Is it real yet?
Well, I think it's real, but we are being. I'm no scientist, but I think the goal is to be forwardly cautious, to not be reactionary sick. You know what I mean? So we're trying to stay ahead of the curve by doing the self quarantine and stuff like that. And every interaction you have with society outside of your house is a potential for you to make someone else sick, or for someone else to make you sick, because you could be a carrier, Matt, and you don't even know it. I mean, I guarantee just looking at you here,
a lot of things.
Yes, there's stuff going on inside.
Like we were saying last week, I think I've had coronavirus for 10 years because I feel lethargic. It's hard to breathe.
But back then it was norovirus.
I go upstairs. Woo! Takes me like 10 minutes just to catch my breath.
I will say. Go ahead, Jose.
No, I was just going to say, my only issue with this thing is we've had other pandemics before, but nothing ever shut down. I just don't know why all of a sudden this one is like.
We didn't care before.
No.
Silent killer, dude.
I think the difference is, and again, I'm not a scientist, so don't quote me, but I think the difference is when they look at the rate of transmittability compared to previous pandemics, it's exponential with coronavirus. So if you have someone with H1N1 in a group of 100, another 4 people out of that group of 100 will get the H1N1 virus. I'm using that as an example. And in this case, if you have one person in a group of 100, then 80 people will get the coronavirus. It's
also the death rate is still higher.
And the death rate is higher. So you combine how easy it is to pass from person to person, and then how deadly it can be for, certain portions of the population. You're now, it's just making it that much more dangerous compared to some of the other things. And I mean, there's a good chance that the 3 of us will get it and just think it's the flu. But my biggest thing is the girls, is, my daughter. And so every time I've had to, like, if I have to stop and get gas, I've put gas in the truck, got back in the truck, hand sanitizer, and then went on my way. Just why not? It takes 2 seconds to do it. I'd rather be cautious than grab something off of the gas pump and bring it home.
Yeah, Jose. Look,
I guess I'm socially responsible then.
What else is new? We got to watch out for you. Why don't you be honest? You're in the next room. You're not even at home.
Yeah, Jose's over here in Presley's bedroom.
Cody's just being like, "Look, dude,
I don't want Matt over here. He drinks all the beer and eats all the food."
Oh, dude! So I went to Target over the weekend. I was only able to find Black Cherry White Claw. I couldn't find any of the variety pack.
No
variety.
They didn't have the variety pack. It was just a bunch of black cherry.
You won't do black cherry?
No, I got it. I still bought it.
Okay, cool.
Did you see my post with the raspberry claw the other night? I tagged you guys in it.
Yes.
I actually had the raspberry one. It wasn't bad.
Mm.
Tammy,
are you a clawhead now?
No. Oh, dude. I will tell you. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I will tell you that so this was Saturday night. Tammy and I decided to have a cocktail before bed. Like, so we sat down to watch some TV, and I made myself one of those apple pie apples, which for those of you that don't know is vanilla vodka, Fireball.
Nobody wants to hear your recipes of.
It's great. It's great. So I made one for me, and Tammy's like, "Yeah, make me one." So I made it was. So what was that? 2, 4, 8. So 16 ounces. 16 ounces of my drink, and then so I drank mine, and Tammy didn't like hers. So I was like, whatever, and I started sipping on hers. Well, she fell asleep on the couch. I finished her.
You fell asleep on the floor.
I finished her apple pie apple, and I got up and I was like, I got to go to the bathroom, and I got up and walked. She was on the sleep on the couch. I walked back to our bedroom to go to the bathroom. I didn't even make it back into the front room to turn the lights off or wake her up or nothing. I came right out of the bathroom, laid face down on the bed. I was done. I was done for the night. I was out. 2. That's my limit. 2 apple pie apples, and I will pass out. Because I mean,
mental note.
When you think about that, that's basically it was 8 ounces of vanilla vodka and 8 ounces of Fireball.
So note to self: give Cody 2 apple pie apples, and we're good to go.
Well, what is it you want to do?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Good to go what? Good to go where? I don't know.
I'm good to go. Just put it that
way. Casey said he got the variety pack, Jose.
Oh, lucky. Man, you posted up a picture, right, of like all these variety packs, right? You texted a picture, I think.
That's when you know when it's over. We're not even worried about toilet paper at this point, but when the White Claw goes out, oh, dude, you better run for the hills.
Yeah, but walking around the stores, dude, it's so weird. Like, you look at everyone like they're like a possible, like, I don't know. It's like if you just walk around and you see someone else walking down the aisle and you're just like, that's a possible contaminant. Just keep walking.
Yeah,
like,
you walk around,
bro.
You see Matt coming at you down aisle 12, and you're like, let's go to aisle 11.
Yeah. You better stay away from my toilet paper, dude, or else.
Dude, yeah, that's toilet. So I went to, this is Friday. So Friday, I went to the Smart and Final here by the house to get some last minute things. Just I was like, I'm going to go one more time and not have to leave the house again for 2 weeks. And when I got in line, my neighbor was like 5 people in front of me. So he's texting me and he's like, what do you need? And I was like, because I was standing in line to get into the grocery store. What do you need? I was like, I think we're pretty good. I just want to pick up some extra stuff. Oh, toilet paper, maybe. So you walk in and the guy comes out and he's like, 1 pack of toilet paper per person. So there was a pallet there in the front.
You know me, dude. That's...
There was a pallet there, and Israel grabbed one for me, and he bought it, and I grabbed one. But they did a good job of keeping everybody in control, and they only let a certain number of people in at a time. And like they were limiting, you can only buy 2 canned items and 2 bread items and 2. So like I felt like between the shopping we had done before and Friday, we're covered for a while. We're covered for groceries for a while. I do have to go out tonight though after we record and grab something. But other than that, I think we're good for a while.
It's like the way you said it. It's like I got to go out tonight amongst the.
Yeah, it's like I got to get all my gear on after this thing.
Yeah, like
dude. At Smart and Final on Friday, there were people with not only masks, but you could tell the people that didn't have masks. They brought their balaclavas and they were pulling those up. I saw a guy with his hoodie fully zipped shut, like Kenny in South Park. Like, people are serious.
I'm telling you, it's crazy out there right now. It's a weird vibe out there.
It's super weird. We talked a little bit about things that have been canceled, and we heard today that Overland Expo West has been pushed to July 24th, 5th, and 6th. So that's, I mean, at least it's not canceled. I'm happy about that.
Now it's just.
You have to keep going without me. I got to go get the plug. My laptop's going to die.
Oh, no. Your laptop's got coronavirus. Go hurry up and get the plug.
Oh.
But the funny thing is I saw the post on Instagram. I shared the Instagram with you and Matt and the guys. And then
Yep.
while that was happening, I was having other people send me the post saying, did you hear that it was like, I guarantee it took 30 seconds for everybody in the off-road world to hear that it got,
dude.
like, that was the biggest news. So that's good though, that it got pushed to July 24th. The only thing, man, what's the weather like in Flagstaff, July 24th, 5th, and 6th, man? That can't be
That's
cold.
what I was going to say. That's summertime, bro.
That can't be cold, right? I mean,
Well, it's higher up in elevation, so I don't think it's not like pure. It's not desert. It's wooded area.
is it in Flagstaff?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think it's higher up in elevation for sure.
So Google says the average high in July is 82 with a low of 52. So that's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not like if it was in Phoenix.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking still low desert. I didn't realize Flagstaff was higher in elevation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that then starts to open the door for Mojave possibly, right? I mean,
Yeah, but you were saying that's socially irresponsible if we go out wheeling.
I don't know. Depends on when that's happening. Like, I mean, we have let's see. We got March, all of April, and then May. Right? Isn't Memorial Day end of May?
Yes. Yeah, it's like May 20 something.
Yeah. So we Memorial Day. Yeah, May 25th. So Matt's laptop died. He's gone. He'll have to log back in. So May 25th. I mean, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 weeks from now. I mean, seriously, if we're still under quarantine in 8 weeks, we got bigger problems than the Mojave.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
I don't know about staying in Vegas. We might not want to do that.
You mean Laughlin?
I'm sorry, Laughlin. Yeah, we might might not want to do that.
Well, we might. I mean, we don't have to stay in the city. We can just camp out another night.
Yeah. So rather
Like 2
than
nights.
I would say if we're going to do that, let's say we still do it over the Memorial Day weekend. So we got the 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
We take off Saturday, go straight out to the Nevada side of the trail, hit the trail, come in for a little while, stop, spend the night, wake up Sunday, come in another third of the way, spend the night, and then Monday hit the 15 and come out.
Yeah.
So we would usually we do the Mojave in 2 segments with a 1 overnight. We would just break it into 3 segments with 2 overnights. Maybe we'd be able to see more stuff because we always skip some stuff. And
I mean, I've only done it the one time, and it did feel like we were rushed for time, like both days.
Well,
there's so much to see.
Yeah, and we had quite a few people with us that time, and
We did have a lot of people, yeah.
But we could do it that way and spend 2 nights out there, and then just break it up and not stay in Laughlin at all. The only downside with that is gas. So if we're going to do that, we'd have to stop. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. If we go out to Laughlin, we just fill up at the trailhead, and we'll still be
Fill
topped
up at the trailhead, bring extra gas cans.
Yeah.
Like I brought the 10 gallons extra, and I think it would be good.
I think. Well, I don't know about the Ford, but in the Toyota, I would bring 5 gallons.
Yeah.
I would be at about half tank. When we stopped, I'd put the 5 gallons in. Still have plenty when we got to the end of the trail. The Ford only has an 18-gallon tank though, so I don't know that it gets me just as far as the. All right, Matt's back. Why
do you look so scared, man?
No, man. What, you look like you're surprised to be here, dude.
Yeah, you look so scared.
What's happening? I can't see.
Why do you look so scared, dude? You're just like,
oh, I couldn't see you guys.
oh, all right.
Nick, we're on.
Can
we're
you
in
see
different
me?
rooms. Go to
Yeah, we can see you. Well, yeah, I mean, we saw the deer in the headlights look. You're just like,
Yeah,
You saw me.
When you first logged in, it was like you were surprised that it worked. You were surprised that your computer.
To be honest, I was. Oh.
So we were just saying that with
How did you guys flip? Because now Jose's over here, and you're over there. How'd that happen?
it just automatically switches. You can.
That's what surprised me.
that I was on the other side of the screen. we were just saying that so it looks like since Overland Expo's pushed, it looks like Mojave's on. If we were to do Mojave Memorial Day weekend, wait, are you there? Because your face is froze up.
Is it my internet?
I don't know. You're back on.
Maybe.
I can hear you now.
You can hear me.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. So we were saying that we still try to do Mojave. Can you hear us?
Yeah,
All right.
I can hear you. We're talking about Mojave.
Yeah. So we were saying maybe we try to do Mojave still Memorial Day weekend, but instead of staying in Laughlin, just in case there's still like stuff, we go. There you are. You're back up and running. We leave Saturday morning, drive out to the Nevada side of the trailhead, top off gas, come in a third of the way, spend the night, wake up Sunday, go to 2/3, spend the night, wake up Monday, hit the freeway and come home. So we just do 2 nights in Mojave instead of a night in Laughlin and 1 on the trail. So we can plan that out. But I mean, again, going back to Overland Expo, at least it's pushed, and we're still going to try to make that happen and work with Icon and the team to try to get that going. But I'm excited to get back out on the trail and start doing stuff once all this stuff calms down.
Yeah, but I mean, do you think when's it going to calm down? Like once everybody recovers from it, or we get a vaccine? Like, is that the rule?
I don't know. I don't know what the rule is. I don't know what the plan is. I mean, I think it's largely dependent on how effective we are now at this time at flattening the curve.
Really what matters is what's crazy ass Jose going to do? Because if he ain't going to pay attention to nothing because he doesn't believe it, we might as well.
I didn't say I didn't believe it. I was just stating facts.
You can't, Jose. You can't just go around spitting on your hands and touching things and trying to spread the virus. Please don't do that because we believe it's real. All right.
I do too, bro. I don't want to. I don't want to bring it home, bro. I'm not trying to give it to my wife or kids.
Or are you?
All right.
Or am I?
No.
No.
Well, yeah. Honestly, Matt, I think it really depends on the effectiveness of what we're doing right now and how well we flatten out the curve and all that stuff. But I mean, I don't think any of us will know until it's like someone says, okay, I think we're good. And depending on where you're at, it'll be different. I mean, think about, looking at the numbers in Italy and some of the European countries, we're not even near the peak yet. So I don't know what that means as far as, are we looking at 2 weeks of quarantine? Are we looking at 4 or,
I was telling you on the way home, Code, I'm working at Baldwin Park Kaiser, and I actually went by the hospital a couple of times today, and it's dead. It is like there's nobody there. They have security at every entrance in and out of the hospital, the MOB, everything. And yet I saw 2 people waiting in line to get into the MOB and maybe a couple of people to get into the hospital.
Tell people what the MOB is. Tell people
in that way it's weird.
Tell people what the MOB is. They probably don't know.
Medical office building.
That's where your doctors are. It's not the actual hospital. It's the office buildings where you get
Well, the hospital's right there too. Like it's on the same campus. So
yeah, I'm just saying it's a different building.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if I'm not dying, I'm not going to the hospital right now. Like the only reason you want to be in the hospital is if you have coronavirus or you can see bone. Like, I'm not going, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to do anything to get myself there because I don't think anybody wants to be there.
Well, is that a knock on Baldwin Park, dude? I mean,
no, I'm saying the hospital. Right. I'm saying the hospital in general.
Hey,
you're like, all right, I can join you on that.
Right? I don't think that's cool. Just because I wreck on Hemet, you're just going to go ahead and start wrecking on Baldwin Park.
No, I'm not wrecking. I didn't even say Baldwin Park. I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want to be anywhere near a hospital right now.
Yeah, but he's just saying it's completely empty, dude.
I know. That's why. Because everybody's feeling the same way I am, and they don't want to be there.
but they have a ton of like preparation though. So on the east side of the hospital, they have very large like outdoor tents. You know, like if you were having like a very big event, you know, some kind of outdoor event, they have a lot of those tents set up. So it seems like they're gearing up. You know, again, it's kind of weird, you know, knowing that it's got to be legit, right? Again, I don't know anybody that has it. I every day, you know, you check on the news or whatever, and there's so many cases in San Bernardino at this point. There's a few deaths in Riverside. I haven't personally seen anybody with it, and to see all this preparation for, you know, something, that's what's really daunting. Like, man, is this really? Is this what we're expecting shortly?
Well, but I'd rather see that. Part of that. I'd rather see them doing the preparation than going, oh, we have 20,000 people infected and we don't know what to do. You know what I mean? I'd rather see that. Yeah. You know. And you know what? I'll be the first one to say, okay, I'll stay at home for 2 weeks, 3 weeks if that's what it takes to make sure that my family doesn't get sick.
Casey says the mayor of Big Bear got it.
Yeah, mayor of Big Bear got it. We had, I think, 2 cases here in Eastvale. That was once there was a confirmed case in Eastvale. That's when we pulled Presley out of school. We were like, okay, that's serious now. It's close to home. So we're just making sure that you know we're doing our part to make sure that we're being careful. That's all. I mean,
well, you and I are doing our part. Who knows what Jose is doing? I don't. Dude, Jose, come on, you gotta be on the team.
I'm staying indoors. I'm socially distancing myself.
Every time Jose comes in the house, Letty's like, no, 6 feet away. 6 feet away.
Well, that's probably
like I said, nothing has changed for me. Like I said before, nothing has changed for me.
Trust me, dude. Tammy wishes she could get 6 feet away from me at any given moment. She's home with me all day now. She's now getting the full wrath of my gropiness.
Are you guys still talking or?
It's been I feel bad, like I've been, because I'm still working and still trying to do stuff, and so she's been, you know, doing the primarily taking care of Presley, and that's a lot of work for a 4-year-old that wants to play constantly and do stuff constantly. So I, you know, kudos to my wife for sticking it out. She's doing a lot. But
have you guys started watching Star Trek yet? You gotta watch Next Generation, dude.
No, we're
got too much time on your hands.
We're finishing up The Good Place. We're catching up on The Good Place. We're almost caught up to the current
final season.
Yes, we're on the final season now. We're almost caught up, but that's a great show, man.
That is great. We haven't started the final season.
Okay.
I don't even know where would you stream that? Is it on Amazon or
Hulu? Hulu, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then
let's finish up this episode so I can get down. Start watching some Good Place.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
Oh, it's a good show about. It's got Kristen Bell in it and Ted Danson, and it's about them dying and going to the quote good place. And then the movie Onward is out now, and we watched that like 5 times, and it's super cute.
Onward. Oh, okay. Never mind. It doesn't even matter. I don't even refresh my memory. I'm sure I already know what it is. There's like an animated dog or some kind of
it's not. No, it's
he gets lost. And then he finds friends and take him to his pants. You know, I can make this stuff up. It's too easy.
No, it's 2 elf brothers. One of them's turning 16. One of them's turning 16, and they go on a quest.
My other guess. There's a couple of elves.
They go on a quest, and it's actually really funny. It's got Tom Holland and Chris Pratt, Spider-Man and Star-Lord are in it.
Okay, does Spider-Man come in, shoot some webs at people? Does Star-Lord come down and crack some jokes?
No.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
No, it's good. You guys should watch. I think it's on Disney Plus or
Didn't
Amazon.
you also say the last Star Wars was like one of the best
Dude,
ones?
why are you still
Didn't you
on this,
say that?
bro? Why
pretty
are
sure
you
you
still
said.
on this?
Huh?
I don't understand why you're still on that.
I'm just trying to, for the people that are, for the half a dozen people that are on listening right
For
now.
all three of you,
Yeah, the qualifier for like your opinion on movies. You thought you conned. Actually, I feel like I got conned to go see it in the theater because I was like, man, I don't know. I mean, it is Star Wars, and Cody did say it was like the best one.
I loved it.
I haven't seen it yet.
God, don't even bother.
Dude, I have to watch it. I've seen all the other ones.
Okay,
That's how they get you. That's how they get you. And they don't even, it's like they knew you were going to see it eventually. They didn't put any effort into it. It's like, whatever. These idiots are going to come out. At least you're going to see it on TV or something instead of going to the theater.
No, Jose needs to watch
Kudos
it.
to you, Jose.
Jose needs to watch it and be the final vote. Tell us.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it. I mean, I liked all the other ones.
All of them.
Yeah, they're all good.
Jar Jar Binks. You like Jar Jar Binks?
No, he's actually kind of annoying.
Okay.
But he did his job.
Imagine Star Wars all Jar Jar Binks.
No,
That is a flat out falsehood, dude. That is.
Why are you talking about the
You know who's
woman
worse
main
than Jar
actress
Jar
and stuff
Binks?
like that, dude?
That dumb emperor in this last one. Dude, come on.
They're talking about Ray.
The movie's just lacking.
Whatever.
Is it because it has a
Nobody's gonna
female
back
lead?
you up either.
Someone needs to back me up on Star Wars, but I'm not getting any. I'm not getting any help. It doesn't look like. So what do you guys think? Let me ask. As far as, let's say 2-3 weeks, quarantine's done. Do you think that just the floodgates are going to open and people are going to run to the woods and go like wheeling and spending money on their rigs and the economy's going to explode? Or do you think it's going to be a slow burn of people trying to recover?
I don't think the quarantine's going to be over in 2 weeks.
No?
No.
I don't think so. I think it's going to get like mandatory shelter at home. I think it's only going to get worse.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to be negative, but dude, they're prepping for something pretty bad. So unless this quarantine thing works and we're able to severely quarantine this outbreak, then great. But I don't know. I mean, if you look at the numbers, they keep like doubling essentially every day.
Yeah. That goes back to the earlier conversation about the exponential growth of the cases and why we're trying to do this. I think there are some people like Jose that's in a position where his work hasn't been impacted yet, and they're.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jose.
Yeah,
Kyle.
Oh no! I was saying where he and Letty are both working, and there hasn't been a huge impact on that. There are other people like. I know a couple that both worked for the same company. They both got put on furlough the same day. So all of their income stopped immediately a week ago. So I think with that in mind, I think once the quarantine is lifted and shops start opening again, I think it's going to take some time. I think it's going to be, there's going to be the camp that didn't get affected, which I think is going to be a small number. And I think the larger population is going to be the ones that are trying to recover and all the back bills that haven't been paid and all the income they haven't had because they've been off of work for a month. I don't know. I'm no.
Yeah, who knows, dude? I mean,
I'm no
look,
economy scientist.
I have to reiterate. Like Letty and I are lucky right now that we both have like jobs that like for us it's business as usual, and we're super lucky. Yeah, I mean we're not affected by it, but I mean we have direct family members and people that are close to us that are directly impacted. I mean, this thing's crazy, dude. Like, I mean, a lot of people are hurting right now. Like, people that live check to check. I mean, the first of the month is coming up, dude. I don't know what I'd do I didn't know. Like, you have no. It's like you don't have an option. Like, you want to go to work, but you can't.
Yeah. Well, they there are. So I saw
there are like grocery stores, like the
grocery
warehouses, they're
stores,
hiring like crazy right
stockers,
now.
Amazon.
Yeah.
There's a lot of companies that are hiring. I mean, if you're making X amount of dollars a year, you're not going to get that kind of salary, but you could be a stocker at a grocery store for the next month temporarily, just to keep the doors
better
open.
than nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. One of the companies I saw that one of the companies that had to shut down was teaming up with a couple grocery store owners, Amazon, and one other company and they're trying to place their people in temporary roles at these other companies because they had to shut down their building. So, I mean, hopefully there's enough of that goes around and people are able to keep the lights on for a while.
Yeah, exactly. I concur. Those statements you guys just made are logical, and I agree with them. Good comments. Good. I don't know. Who knows? I hope it's only a couple more weeks, and then everything gets back to normal, and we look back and go, oh man, that was crazy. We all kind of got laid off for a couple of weeks but I don't think, this seems like a really extreme thing to do unless it's really, they're expecting. So, I mean, apparently Trump has, as of last night, the National Guard's being deployed
in multiple states.
Yeah, but that's just to guard food banks right now.
Right? Exactly.
But it's not for martial law. It's
hold on, let me go get my tinfoil hat real quick.
The Instagram feed is dying. Go to YouTube.
Hey, they're already plugged in through your headphones.
But I think that's just to secure the food. It's not. Some people, I saw some posts where people were like worried that it was for the purposes of martial law, and that's just that's not the case at this point. But hopefully we get back to normal soon.
It's also not. It's nothing. That's still concerning. Unless there's a run on White Claw. Yeah,
I think after this recording, I'm gonna go make a run on White Claw. I don't know. I tell you what, after that apple pie apple incident with my my multiple drinks, I slept pretty good. Did
we lose Jose?
I think he said he had to go pause for a second, potty break maybe. Like I was saying, that apple pie apple, I might become a nightcap guy.
Oh God! But what about your waistline? Isn't there a lot of sugar and calories?
Yeah,
in that?
there is, dude. Dude, that is the one thing about all this working from home. So we went and grocery shopped. We've got more groceries now than the 10 years that Tammy and I have been together combined. And we can't go anywhere. And I'm just snacking. I'm constantly snacking and eating stuff and snacking and eating stuff. And it's killing me right now. And it's not like you can go to the gym. I'm still working, but I can't go anywhere.
Yeah. Just like I was saying, I got caught up in that store last Friday, so a week ago. And you're just trying to snap up whatever's available, the off-brand pastas. We haven't gotten to the off-brand pastas yet.
Yeah.
But he's back.
Whoa. What is happening right now?
We're talking about the real stuff, guys.
Did you really just go grab tinfoil and put it on your heads?
What are you talking about?
Oh man, what's in that Starbucks?
What's up?
What's in that Starbucks cup?
Oh, it's a very
times.
I don't know. Yeah,
it's the White Claw. It's the White Claw.
Yeah.
Dude, they're still getting to you through your headphones.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. They're encrypted, bro.
Who did the encryption?
Me.
Oh man, I want a tinfoil hat.
All right, the next round of Trail Chaser hats are going to be tinfoil brim with the logo
Yeah, there's
on
going to
top.
be a line in tinfoil.
Nice. Oh man.
Well, and going back to things being canceled, we actually had an in studio guest scheduled for tonight, and we canceled that just to be safe. And like I said, the guys are in remote. We're not in the same room. We're trying to be cautious, and but I'm hoping this doesn't last forever, dude.
Yeah, but if you see all the social media accounts that are like off-road centric, they're all going off-road right now. They're all like taking advantage of this free time, dude. Yeah,
and again, I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just saying that any time you leave the house, it poses the potential for exposure to or from the virus, and you have to weigh that risk out with you and your family and what you're trying to do. So it goes beyond that though. Like Matt and I. So perfect example. Matt and I, and Casey, his family, Matt and his family, Tammy and I, we did a video chat with my mom and dad last night, using the same technology here, so that mom could.
How long did that take to set up?
What?
I said, how long did that take to set up?
It wasn't too bad. It was actually pretty funny. But my point being is, I'm not sick. Tammy's not sick. Pressy's not sick. But we're not going to go up and see my mom and dad because there is a potential that we could expose just because we don't have symptoms, we could expose my mom to the virus. So just because you don't have symptoms and you're like, I'm going to go out and do something, there is a statistical possibility that you are exposing other people to the virus.
For sure.
I mean, in a perfect world, if you were to leave the house and you said, okay, I'm going to go on an adventure, and you stopped at the gas station, you put on rubber gloves, you put the gas in, then you put the gas thing back, took the rubber gloves off, threw them away, went about your day. You've now.
That's how I normally pump gas.
That's how you normally pump gas.
Isn't that how you normally do it?
But that would ensure that you're not putting your germs on the handle, and you're not getting any germs from somebody else. That'd be great. If everybody interacted with society that way right now, I would be totally okay with more people going out and doing stuff. But people aren't doing it. So
Okay.
No.
I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know if it's right or wrong or whatever. I think people just need to, look at it think about their family, and then think about how their actions impact other families, and go from there.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. I mean, think about let's say I decide to go on an adventure and I don't have any symptoms, but I am a carrier, and I go to the gas station and I pump gas, and the next guy behind me has a kid at home that's sick, and he grabs the gas can, the gas pump, and he brings my germs home to the kid, and the kid gets sick.
Yeah, dude, but that's you're going down like the rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, people have to go out right now. People have to go out and do stuff, like live their lives.
Oh yeah, and for example, Wednesday, I've got to go to a job walk, so I will go get gas. I will do all the things. I'm just saying, when you think about the ripple effect of decisions, it is more pronounced now than it usually is. So the ripple effect of any decision you make versus any decision somebody else's make just has larger consequences.
Okay.
That's all
How
I'm
about
saying.
so on a lighter note, like you can watch The Invisible Man, like newer movies that were out or in theaters. Now you can watch them at home. Did you guys see any of those movies, or would you see one of those movies?
Which one? What are you talking about?
Like the Invisible Man, like that's a movie that's out in theaters right now with that one chick, and then there's like another person in it. I'm really horrible. Really horrible with names.
Dude.
There's like actors and stuff in there. And then
you're Chris Farley right now. Remember that one time you did that thing?
Yeah. And then I think anything Universal had out is now you can stream from home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind then. If you weren't aware of it.
No, I knew that there were some, like that Onward, for example. I knew that was supposed to be out in theaters and it got released for streaming. That's how we watched it.
Oh, okay. So you've already done it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Onward was released, and I'm looking at The Invisible Man. I don't know the chick's name. Elizabeth Moss. It's the from Mad Men and Handmaid's Tale. Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale. I've recommended 2 movies, and they weren't out yet. I'm like, Letty, did you hear what's that movie called? Onward?
Yeah,
Right?
Onward. It's great.
I'm like, it's available for streaming. And we're looking for it, and she looked it up. It's like, dude, it's not coming out for like another week or 2. I was like, oh.
No, it's available right now.
No, but this was like, I read the headline like a week ago. And then a couple of days ago, I'm like, hey, did you see that new Star Wars is out on digital release now, but it's not out till like a week or 2 from now.
No, it's out on Amazon. Yeah.
On Amazon? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So go ahead and waste your $20.
Dude, if you don't like it, I'll give you the $20.
Wow.
Just give me the 20 and
Yeah.
No, seriously.
$20, dude. You're just gonna give them $20.
If you don't like it, I'll pay the $20.
All right, I will probably stream it tonight.
Yes. Let's see.
You probably won't make it through to the end of the movie.
Well, yeah, I mean 8:30 is my bedtime, so
Yeah, well, exactly. There's not a lot of interesting content to keep you awake. My opinion. It's just, ugh.
Whatever. All right, we're like an hour in, and we haven't provided any value at all.
Never did.
Whatsoever. I don't know why this is different than anything else, though.
Why would we start now? Dude, I brought this chair up into my bedroom and the computer, and
you set up your Garvey jersey.
Garvey background. For what?
I don't know. So we've got. So we'll have
any voicemails or anything.
What's that?
Do we have any new voicemails?
No new voicemails.
No new reviews.
Okay. All right. Well, since we have no voicemails and no reviews and no valuable things to say at all, you guys good? Anything else you want to add before we go?
Yeah, I miss baseball. Wish baseball would start. That'd be great.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. So what'd you do with that?
Head of baseball.
Yeah. Talk to the baseball manager guy. See what I can do.
Mr. Baseball. You're gonna talk to Mr. Baseball.
Oh, dude, I love Mr. Baseball. That was a great movie.
You're gonna talk to Bob Uecker?
No, Tom Selleck, Mr. Baseball, the movie.
That's right.
Yeah,
but I think Bob Uecker was the original Mr. Baseball.
Was he?
I think so.
This is really weird recording the podcast.
Yeah, and it's lame conversations. We're not doing well, but whatever. People give us some slack. We just kind of winging it, figuring out. But we're gonna end the recording here. You guys know the rule when I say goodnight, so don't hang up. But thanks to everybody for joining us and listen to this conversation with a bunch of the guys in the off-road community and let us know your thoughts. Drop us an email at info@trailchasers.net or go to the webpage /contact, trailchasers.net/contact, or leave us a voicemail, 951-394-DIRT. Other than that, guys, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, well, you know what I wanted is, as far as voicemails, I was serious last week. I want somebody to call in and say, this is who you're supposed to talk to get into Thunderdome. And, I'm looking for real advice here. I'm going to have to look at the download demographics and see if we got any downloads in the high desert, because I don't think... Oh, Airdown's on. Airdown, you got to talk to your people up there and find out if the apocalypse happens.
He knows.
I know. He's up there.
Oh, he knows.
If...
in it or something like that.
If-
Up there.
Ryan, can you get us into Thunderdome?
Brian, Thunderdome's gonna happen in his backyard. He knows what's down. So like, you just gotta vouch for us, dude. You gotta vouch for us. If Thunderdome goes down and people start getting thrown into the pit
Right.
for to fight, like, you know, we're not fighters, man. That's not our deal.
Yeah. Can you give us an advanced schedule of when the caravan of trucks and whatever is going to come down and swoop? I figure I'm Fontana, so I'm probably like the first pickings.
Oh, dude, you gotta call me. You gotta call me when they get to your house, so I got time to get out.
Oh yeah, no, sure, I'll do that for you. But you know, that way we know when they're coming down, so I can make sure I'm not in the area and I don't get. You know, I imagine they got like giant nets cut out the side of their trucks. They just drive by and swoop you up, and next thing you know, you wake up, you're in Thunderdome.
You're in Thunderdome in like leather chaps and like a harness with studs on it.
Yep. You got a midget like strapped to your back.
Too far, dude. Too far, dude. Good night, everybody.
Oh man.
Oh, dude.
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
The Trailchasers podcast is a member of the 4x4 Radio Network. If you want more off-road shenanigans in your ear holes, go to 4x4radionetwork.com to hear episodes of the Jeep Talk Show, the 4x4 podcast, the Center Steer podcast, and On the Trail with Kevin and Scott. Hey everybody! We got a treat today. We because we can't all hang out, we decided as a group to get together virtually. So on the big screen in the studio, I've got Jeremy and Tyler from Icon. I've got Christian from Shift Pod, Rory from Trigger Controller, and Jason from DeMello Off Road, all on video chat, hanging out with me in the studio on a Friday night. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good.
We're here, man.
Good. So we'll start with Jeremy. You and I have been having some conversations this week, kind of just about, you know, what's been going on out in society and the changing guidelines day to day about what we can and can't do and where we can and can't go. And, you know, one of the things that I feel personally is that we've had, you know, with all the stuff that's been going on recently, I feel like leading up to this, we, the Trail Chaser podcast, had a lot of momentum, and we were, you know, going to events and we were engaging with people. And then all of a sudden it feels like, you know, the hammer came down and we're kind of stuck not having that momentum. And you and I talked about it a little bit. So talk to me a little bit from your perspective, Jeremy, what you're feeling right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't too long ago, just a couple weeks ago, all of us on this call pretty much were out at the 4-Wheeler Adventure Expo.
Yeah.
You know, in person, being able to talk to our end users and talk to enthusiasts and show off our product and, you know, talk about all these great things that we're going to do and everything moving forward. And in just those 2 weeks, it seems to have progressed where day by day, the situation kind of with this whole coronavirus thing kind of keeps getting worse and worse and worse. You know, a couple weeks ago back then, it was there wasn't even a limit on groups of people you can have. And then all of a sudden it was, hey, 250 people or more, or 250 people or less in one area. And then it was 50 people or less. And just a day after that, it was 10 people or less. And now we're sitting here where we're in this really, really interesting time where it's, you know, it's kind of a shelter in place situation, at least for us in California. It's kind of, hey, stay home unless you need to go out for anything essential. And it's just put us all in a very, very strange place. We're in an industry where we need to be out in front of people. We need to be out using our products. And, you know, I'm on the marketing side. Tyler and myself are on the marketing side for Icon. We depend on getting out on the weekends and during the week and going out and using our stuff. And for us to be in this situation where, you know, it's kind of flipped really this last week where we're more or less looked down upon if we kind of push people or encourage people to get in their trucks and go out and go off-roading. It's put us in a really weird spot. You know, what do we do? If we can't tell people to get out there and go use their stuff, and we're kind of, again, looked down upon for encouraging that, how do we reach people? And that's kind of the idea we talked about, Cody, and that's why we're sitting here talking today is this is just our chance as a few voices in the industry to talk about this deal and, you know, what we're going to do to get through it and what we're going to do, you know, hopefully at the end of the tunnel and, you know, what we're going to do to pull out of this thing.
Yeah.
I know earlier this week, you and I were talking about going out and hitting Cleghorn or hitting a local trail and trying to film some content. And I think we're all on the same page. Tyler and I looked at each other on Monday and went, hey, we have to push out content to stay relevant this time. And again, it's from Monday to now on Friday, it's changed to where it seemed like we would be okay to go out and tell people like, hey, get in your truck and go out and go off-roading, to now it's a little bit socially irresponsible or depending on what side of the camp you are. So yeah, it's just put us in a really weird spot. You know, as far as Icon goes, we're kind of towing that line where, unless somebody says we can't go to work, we are going to continue to do so. Our customers are all in the automotive repair business. By the orders that have been put out, again, at least in California, automotive repair is considered an essential business. And, for us, our customers are essential. And our phones haven't stopped ringing. Our email inboxes haven't stopped getting blown up. So we're going to stay and try to provide for our customers, which, you know, trickles down. That affects their livelihood and keeps their doors open. It keeps our employees, you know, it's essential for our employees to have a place to come to work and get a paycheck. So we've gone about it. You know, we're making the right changes within the office. We're rotating shifts. Tyler, I don't know, luckily or whatever you want to call it, but Tyler's working remote next week. I'll be in the office. We're just trying to create space within our working quarters to abide by all these rules, but still get our job done. I mean, this is a huge thing, and everyone on this call is being affected by it in one way or another. You know, some companies, you know, smaller scale are seeing this already or have already been impacted. We, like I said, the phones keep ringing, the emails keep coming. But we'd be fools to think we're not going to be affected by this. So we're doing our best to just keep on keeping on. And I don't want to steamroll.
I think a couple of things that you mentioned. So one, everyone is going to get affected. Doesn't matter what industry you're in at this point. I'm in HVAC construction that's considered essential for now. Who knows how long that's going to continue to go, right? You know, as retailers and marketers and manufacturers, Shift Pod, Trigger Controller, and DeMello, you guys I'm sure there's going to come to a point where, you know, it's going to impact you, whether it be your ability to continue to work or your ability to have people buy your products. We'll go back to the conversation you had about, is it responsible for going out? Rory, you brought it up a little bit earlier about, you know, there's been a lot of conversation about that. Is it responsible for us to go out on the trail right now? So I'll start with you, Rory. What's your thought?
I did not bring up that conversation, but I will speak on it. Because I'm pretty irresponsible, and I got a weekend or two off now. So I saw Matt Scott from Adventure Imports, I think it is. He does Match Tracks, MSA. He does the podcast on Overland Journal. He posted a question: Is it socially or professionally irresponsible to encourage your customers to go self-isolate? You know, because at the end of the day, you know, it's a great marketing campaign for all of us. It's Overland manufacturers. Hey, go get away.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. As soon as martial law is called, I'm going to be overlanding full time. Because I got all this gear and I'm just going to go post up in the desert for a month. It's a tough one. You know, it really is, because, you know, a guy like Jason DeMello, who's sicker than shit, could say, you know what, I'm going to go out to Johnson Valley today, but he stops in Landers and picks up a gas pump to just get gas. And 5 minutes later, somebody that lives in Landers does, and they haven't had any effect in that community. But realistically, it could happen. You know, what will happen? Who knows? But that could happen, and we could spread. You know, when we go remote, bad things to small communities. And you look at Moab that just shut down.
Yep.
Why did Moab shut down? Because they don't have the infrastructure. They don't have an ER. They don't have an ICU. No. You know.
Yeah, and they're a small. Call it a small, sleepy town, 360 days a year. And then for a week, the entire world ascends on their land. Like, I mean, I wouldn't, if I lived in that community, I wouldn't want people coming in either. And I think to your point, when Jeremy and I first had this conversation, I was on the camp of what? I mean, if you're going out and you're just going out in the middle of nowhere, but then you start thinking about the interactions. You're right. The minute you leave the house and you have to go to a gas pump, or you're just picking up ice for the ice chest or whatever, every one of those stops, every one of those transactions is a potential for either you to get infected or somebody else to get infected. And, if you could just, if you knew you could leave your house with the food, ice, and water and everything you need, go out to the desert, camp, and come back without ever interacting with anybody, not breaking down out there and not having to call a tow truck, not, then maybe. But the minute you leave the house, you're opening up that risk.
Yeah, and the Coachella Valley is a really good example for a lot of people who are just on this call in our demographic just here in Southern California. Say I go out to Johnson Valley, right, where we did our whole event at King of the Hammers. I get sick and I've got coronavirus, and I go to the ER or the ICU in Palm Springs because that's the closest. That's where our friends Mark and Adam went when they had their accident at Hammers, and I'm not trying to rehash that, but the Coachella Valley is extremely susceptible. Palm Springs, just because there's a large HIV infected population, and elderly population
out there,
and that's everyone's freaking out in the Coachella Valley. So just us by nature, where we go in our own backyard, we're increasing the risk for other people, not for ourselves. And I never thought of that, but then I've got a friend who's on the city council in Palm Springs, and that's what he's freaking out about because they have a large population of, people that have HIV and they're elderly.
Yeah.
And they are so susceptible to that. And people like us, just going out to the desert, if we got hurt and we broke a leg and we had it and we didn't know, even though we're going to make it through it, we're going to take it to that hospital. And
can we define elderly real quick? Because I feel like you're looking at me and I'm feeling a little
so let's talk about that. Jason, you're on the call, and thankfully you're not in the studio because you have, you said you have a head cold?
Yeah, I have a little bit of head cold. And I didn't mean to roll over his conversation. I just want to make sure. So I want to have it. I think that's interesting, Jason. Because I'll tell you guys. Last Friday, I went out and got supplies. Yesterday, when Governor Newsom here in California said it was going to be locked down, I found a grocery store, a crappy ass grocery store that was open till 10. I went and picked up some stuff, and I was in line this morning picking up the rest of the stuff that I need. So I feel like my family and we're covered for a couple weeks. I don't have to leave the house for another couple weeks. But I will tell you, every time I was out and about, I felt queasy. Like the back of my throat started to get dry, and your eyes start watering. When I came back from the grocery store today, I walked in, took a shower. I came back here to the studio, and my wife and daughter came in, and I said, "Why don't you guys stay there for a while? I'm not feeling great. You guys don't come in this room. Leave me alone for a couple hours." And I checked my temperature. I felt good. I think most of it was psychological. But how are you doing with that, Jason? As you start to get the sniffles and the coughs? Well, technically, if you go by the letter of the law and what they're saying, I'm high risk, diabetic, high blood pressure, all the fun stuff. So I wasn't worried. It's just a head cold. I've read up on it. I know what the symptoms are, and I have no fever. It's just a little head cold. I'm kind of getting over it now. But to alleviate the concerns of my employees and any customers that we had scheduled this week, I opted to stay home for the last 2 days. So I've been working from home from my laptop. So, but as far as word goes, no, I'm not worried about that.
That's good.
Yeah, if he dies, he doesn't have to pay off that motorhome. So
exactly. My overland home.
Well, I've got some RV parking if you want to park it here, just in case. You can park it at my house. Christian, I want to talk to you because I don't know with the advanced shelter systems and the shift pod stuff you guys do a lot of emergency response stuff. Has this impacted your business in any way?
Tremendously, actually. We were on track to deliver the new Shift Pod 3, which is amazing, all carbon fiber spars, about 12 pounds lighter than our former product. And it's been delayed about 2 months now, which is, really kind of a bummer. We were really excited about it, and now we're like, The upside is that we've been able to pivot. Our factory was actually commandeered by the Chinese government to make N95 masks and overalls, PPE product. And about 2 days ago, we were told that they could export now.
Okay.
So we put the word out, and we're working with Rory, and we're doing some cool stuff, and we just sold 1 million masks, and we've got we're going to be the sole source vendor for New Mexico and possibly Louisiana, and so it's turned out really nice for us. But I'm getting stir crazy. I'm wearing funny hats and funny gloves, and it's just, it seems kind of silly to me. I don't really agree with all the kids in Palm Springs, or not Palm Springs, in
Florida. Yep.
Stuff, but I think people that spend a lot of money on their overloading hobby and I'm sorry, overlanding. I think it's really, it comes down to personal responsibility. The CDC is making recommendations, social distancing, and why not get out and camp and get out there? You don't need to stay at home to be alone. And as long as you're being responsible and wearing these things when you pump gas and being mindful of, not breathing on people and not letting them breathe on you. If you're responsible about it and you're smart about it, then I wouldn't worry about it. It's the morons that, are doing really stupid stuff in Florida on the beaches and and taking out with all kinds of people and, whatever. That's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So,
and on that,
want to go out to Death Valley and make out with a burro? Great, whatever.
And on that note, like
that burro could find somebody and kiss them.
Yeah,
I'm like Rory right now.
Going back to that, like when the other day I had
You keep talking about burros after you went to that thing in TJ, dude.
How's that weird? That was normal.
I was going to the gas station and stuff. Like I had my wife and daughter, and I went to the gas station. I got gas. I got back in the truck. I have hand sanitizer. I immediately, cleaned my hands. And every time I had to get out of the truck, because we went and we sold my Tacoma and I had to go drop it off. So every time I had to go do something and get out of the truck, I got back in the truck, hand sanitizer. I'm not, whatever I touched out there, I'm not bringing it home. That's my biggest fear right now, is bringing something home. I can say that.
Look, here's the deal. Really, everybody in this country should have gloves in their go kit. They should have 10 or 15 gallons of fuel to get get out of here, get out of the way, get out into the desert. If you don't have an extended fuel tank, if you don't have 5-gallon fuel tanks, water filters, those blue life water things, they make 20,000 liters of fresh water out of garbage water. If you don't have that stuff, what are you doing? I mean, you're not prepped. You're not ready to go overlanding and really, taking care of your family and your friends. If you can't get away and not worry about going to every gas station along the way, then there's an issue.
Yeah, well, I will say I am that person. I don't have a complete go bag, and I don't have the water filtration, and this right now is making me question all that. And I've been starting to put stuff in my Amazon cart to start building that because I don't have it. Right. And I recognize that there's not like a 2-week warning to quarantine. It's like. Well,
think about an earthquake. I mean, what would happen if an 8.6 earthquake happened in LA?
Yeah.
You got 18 million people down in that valley, and what are they going to do?
Yep. Yeah.
You want to get away from that population center as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I definitely do not have. I am not prepared for that at all. So with that, Tyler and Jeremy, we'll go to Tyler because we haven't talked to him yet. Looking at the stuff that we've talked about, how do we stay relevant and stuff? What kind of conversations have you guys had internally at Icon about ways that we can continue to connect with the community?
I think the biggest thing, like Jeremy touched on earlier, was just putting out content, for everybody that's stuck at home right now and quarantined or maybe not working or the kids are home, not at school. Just trying to stay relevant and stay on people's minds, Just personally at Icon, we have so much content built up that we just need to go through and edit and maybe export and kick out to the general public. It makes it easy for us because we have all this stuff in our back pocket. It's more difficult for some other companies, that may not have this content or go out and be able to film it in the meantime, where it gets kind of tricky, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be our main focus, though, is trying to take what we have, because we can't really go out in this current state, that being frowned upon, it seems like, and put together what we have and get out what we can, you know?
Yeah.
Try and make the best of it. So,
yeah. And I think piggybacking on what you said, Tyler, you know, the right content too, rather than, you know, I think it's going to serve our industry best if we're not necessarily trying to cram, you know, sales discounts and this, that, and the other down people's throats during this time. But, you know, one thing we focused on is trying to, you know, pump some life into our tech series, you know, our tech videos, how to maintain the product you already have.
Wait. I gotta maintain my stuff.
Of course, man.
You didn't tell me that.
Driveway, would you?
Man.
but no, 100%. Tyler hit it right on the head. Is that's our strategy, at least in the marketing department, is to stay in front of people. But it's also the right content. I don't think this is a great time, and you see some people doing it, some people not. But you know, we live in a capitalist society. Obviously, we all want to make money when we can, but for us, it's about being real and connecting with people at home. You know, telling that guy who's got an icon equipped at home in his garage, like, here's how you maintain your upper control arms. Here's how you know can take care of your shocks, and here's how you can do that. Rather than, hey, we'll give you 10% off on buying this right now.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
it's funny.
This is a perfect opportunity for the guys that are at home, you know, that may be looking for something to do. Like, if we put out some more tech videos on that, you know, it'll kind of help them to get through this tough time and hopefully stuff in the process.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to speak for Jeremy.
The content game. Yeah.
Everything I got is on sale right now.
Everything's on sale.
Everything's on sale.
I was gonna say I've seen all of the promotional stuff from DeMello and Trigger Controller. Well, let's talk. Jason, let's talk about that. Like, so you're trying to manufacture and sell, and have you seen any impact in orders, or I mean, are you projecting an impact in orders based on what's going on?
100%. And I'm sure Rory can attest this as well. And I've been talking to other manufacturers in the business, and what we've seen is rolling into this week was very positive. Although we had started to see some of the fear and some of the things going into place. My kids have been home from school for a while now, but we started seeing some of that stuff happen. But going into this week, we had several people that were on placing the order this week. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to get that. And as the week has gone on, everyone's kind of dropped off.
Yeah.
And now you're going to having people with current orders that are calling us up being like, is my stuff almost done? Because I don't know if I want to keep this anymore. So it's a big concern. And this week has definitely been a slower week. So it's something that I'm going to watch. Definitely we're doing sales to kind of keep us going. And the other problem we're having too is while Icon is open, that's great for us because we obviously sell Icon and we have a couple kits on order right now we need to pick up next week and install. Other companies are not open.
Yeah.
Talking to my metal supplier yesterday, and they have a limited staff and they have a limited availability to deliver material to us. One of our powder coaters shut down. Bolt supplier, he's not been returning my phone call. So there's definitely going to be some delays, and there's definitely some supply chain stuff that's going to happen. We got to keep the doors open. We got to keep my employees employed. So I'm trying to keep things moving as best we can. And that's what that's for. That's what the sales are for. It's because people are scared and they are concerned, which we completely understand. And so, in an effort to keep my people there and keep them working, we're doing some, and it's really not, I wouldn't even say it's not seasonal sales, because normally this time of year, most companies do tax season sales. We had kind of held off on that until recently. Then it's like, okay, maybe we should do those because it started to slow down. And we honestly started seeing the slowdown probably last week. And I wouldn't say it was a slowdown. What it was really was a lack of picking up. Oh. And this is typically the time of year we see a big pickup because of tax returns and stuff like that. But we're being cautious. And this week it's definitely shown. So that'll trickle uphill to companies like Icon. And as we go forward, as we're ordering stuff, we get the orders, then we order our parts from them. I think they're going to start. I mean, Jeremy talked about this earlier, but I think that's going to start seeing that next week. I just hope it's not a mass fear and scare where everyone starts canceling stuff, because that's dangerous for everybody.
Yeah.
Hope kind of hangs in there. I understand people are losing their jobs, and I understand people are scared. We're all concerned. I wouldn't use the word scared, but we're all concerned. But just if people can at this time take advantage of the sales, good for them. If they can't, then we'll still be here for them when everything settles.
And I think that there's a couple different camps, right? I mean, there's the I had said earlier, everybody's going to be affected, and I still believe that. But I think there's the people that are in a position to where, okay, I've got a couple weeks off. It's not going to impact me that much, or I already had this money allocated for this anyways, and I'm going to proceed. And then there's the camp that's like, for example, I know somebody that both the husband and wife both work for the same company, and they both immediately went on furlough. And so that's a huge impact on them, on their income, on their household, right? Some families have been lucky to where one person's not working, but the other one is. And I really think that there's going to be or in my opinion, there's a couple different camps. For example, going back to me selling the Tacoma, I mean, right now is a horrible time to try to sell a vehicle, but the guy that bought my truck was a firefighter. He's going to be employed. Like, he's not worried about this at all.
Yeah. I can definitely see that. I think it's going to eventually affect everybody. Yeah, remember when, in 2008, that was all caused by basically the housing market crashing, and that was like one industry, that banks and that was caused by that one entity.
Yeah.
This is worldwide. Like everybody's going to be affected. And right now, the last to be affected are obviously going to be firefighters, teachers, stuff like that. But I feel like eventually it's going to roll to them too if it continues on. And that's not really a fear; it's just more of a concern. And we'll just roll with it and do what we can.
Christian, so you were talking about how your factory shifted, and I hate to say that it sounds like you've been able to find a way to make it positive, but I mean, would you quantify it that way? Would you say that not that this is a good thing for you, but your company's in a position to where it's having less of an impact because you were able to pivot and do something different?
Absolutely. Yeah. The factory was commandeered about N95 masks. 2 days ago, they were told that they could export, which is fantastic. It really set us in a position, on one hand, we're delayed on our new product. The other hand, I overstocked and I have a lot of inventory, which is fantastic. And now we've got another opportunity. I think the trick is really to, try and find the upside any way you can. Mm-hmm. If you get laid off, we'll figure out how to do something else to bridge the gap.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you're fortunate enough to have, some savings, work on a new truck, go add some stuff to your truck, do something cool, support local businesses, and do what you can to make a difference.
Yeah. Rory, looking at your products, I mean, I know that you guys are doing a lot of distribution of products. Is your supply chain being impacted from all this stuff, and how are you guys handling that?
100%. So for us, if you got into the nitty gritty of the aftermarket and you were to find advanced accessories, people know us as Trigger Controller because of one of our products. If you were to define our company, we'd be considered an import distributor. All of our products that we sell are proprietary, so they're designed and engineered by us in-house, but we do not manufacture any of our own products. They're either sourced from Asia, China, Taiwan, Korea, from Europe through Portugal, or locally we do quite a bit actually in the United States. Now, how are we affected? Well, we started getting affected, every year right around springtime. You'll see these guys that talk about CNY, that's Chinese New Year. If we don't get orders in before Chinese New Year, they shut down for a month, 3 weeks in China. So we have product that, didn't get shipped before Chinese New Year. So we're waiting on it to come back after Chinese New Year. That's a lot of our electronics. Unfortunately, we don't have the infrastructure to produce quite a bit of electronics. Anyone that says they're 100% made, sole sourced, or whatever electronics wise in the U.S., it's kind of hard to believe. Everyone's affected because a lot of our components come from China as far as electronics go.
Yeah.
We started feeling the heat before it hit our shores because it hit China where our product is produced. It didn't go back to work until March 5th. So now a product that should have shipped long before that was delayed. So we're now 2 months behind on product. On top of that, now we get in here to today. When the government says go home for a month, we don't know where your paycheck's coming from, people necessarily aren't going to spend their money on car parts. Let's be honest with one another. People go out and they buy cases of water and toilet paper in America, evidently. so that becomes a challenge for us as a manufacturer. Where do we overcome? I can't get product out of Portugal for our AFN bumpers. I'm struggling to get product out of Asia for our UTV product. And even here domestically, because if I have it produced domestically, even a lot of steel is sourced from Asia, Europe, South America.
Yeah, we sorry to cut you off, Rory, but I think you're touching on a point that a lot of people don't understand. You made the point like made in America. Even if it was final assembly in America or whatever, everything, our economy now is global. There's nothing you can do about that. In the HVAC industry, I guarantee everybody is struggling because the components that come out of other countries are not getting to the manufacturing and the assembly plants here in America. Electronics, steel, motors, all kinds of that stuff it's a global economy, and when there's a big hit in someplace outside of our borders, it still impacts us.
Yeah, exactly. And without getting political, if you know me personally, I'm really into politics, but a lot of this was groundwork that was set up by people long before us, old white men that felt like it was a great idea to outsource every single part of our industry and infrastructure to other countries.
Again, can we clarify old? I don't want to be putting that.
Let's call them boomers, and it's not to be critical. Jason's got at least 2 years, and Christian's probably already there before he's classified as a boomer. But that mentality of, hey, and that's capitalism, and that's fine. But at some point in time, that greed and revenue stream kind of set us up for that position, and a lot of us are in that position to where we can't rely on the sources that we have locally because we're so dependent on other countries, other nations, other suppliers.
Yeah.
So it's a tough moment in time, not only in this industry but globally. Our suppliers in Portugal, they're freaking out. They're the largest bumper manufacturer in the world. Their number one supplier, their number one customer is the United Nations. The United Nations doesn't need bumpers and armor for trucks. We're not at war with a person. We're at war with a virus.
Yeah.
So it's a scary moment in time globally, and it's going to affect us all. And like Jeremy and Tyler said, how do you pump out content? How do you attract people? How do you keep them engaged? And right now, my goal is, hey, $1,000 checks are coming in the mail. I want to make sure everybody knows about my product, so when they get that money, hopefully they spend it on it. That's really all we can do is just make the best of the situation.
Well,
it's scary.
Yeah, and real quick, touching on that, when I think we kind of started this round robin about content and what's the right content, and I touched on something, and I feel a little bit bad, pushing sales and things like that is 100% necessary for our customers, Icon's customers, which is the installer. That guy, that Jason DeMello is a customer of Icon's, and 100%. I mean, these guys are running sales, and I didn't necessarily mean to come on.
You can say backpack. You can't backtrack now.
I'm backpedaling right now.
Dude, Jason's always running a sale, dude. It's fine.
24/7.
But 100%. For us, just being the manufacturer, we're going to pull back on cramming, the product side of things at people and try to provide more of the education side. But you get in that camp where is it right, is it wrong to push the sales or whatever, and again, like Jason touched on, he's got to keep his employees, trying to get a paycheck for his employees and trying to keep the doors open, all that stuff. And I really think at this point, you got to do what you got to do. We're a little bit in a different sphere. We're the manufacturer, and being that install shop, you have to do what you have to do. And I don't think anybody, trying to keep their business alive right now should be frowned upon or looked at in a weird light. We're all kind of in the struggle together. So,
and it's above and beyond. It's above and beyond car parts. I'll use a personal. Today, I had to get a couple proposals out, and I'm looking at the proposals and the numbers, and I'm going, I start dropping down that profit margin a little bit to make that number a little bit more appealing because I want this entity to spend the money, right? I mean, so I would rather get a sale for X amount of dollars with, less profit than, act like as if it's normal times and not get the sale, right? So just what you're talking about isn't just automotive. It's HVAC, it's computer parts, it's everything, everybody. So let's,
and I'm gonna touch base kind of with Christian's N95 thing. For us, we're a small company, and when the phone quits ringing, we freak out. It's a capital intensive society, especially when you're doing import stuff, because we got to bring stuff over in volume. So long story short, I texted Christian, hey, what's going on? I'm ready to sell response pods if people aren't going to buy car parts. He says, hey, here's what's going on. I got these N95 masks. I said, all right. Christian's going after private entities. I'm going after public entities, county emergency response teams. Every single county in Southern California is searching for N95 masks. Yeah. And the crazy thing is none of them know where to find them because everything comes out of a different country. And that country is using all of their supply to furnish their country.
Yeah.
It's a pretty scary situation that opens the eyes to a lot of people about, where we let our economy go. It's been an eye opener for me as a younger person, even though I turned 35 yesterday, as to where we're at globally with manufacturing, how much weight we put
you're
on
only
someone
35?
else.
Man,
I still have a thing for you.
Still got that big.
You got to sing for Jeremy too. Did you know you got to sing? You got to sing for Jeremy too. By the way,
I know. I think Jeremy's
was so badass. Our birthday party was so badass. The entire state shut down.
No, I think Jeremy's now legal to drink after yesterday. As he nice pinky drink. Okay, so let's all that that kind of sets the groundwork for where we're at today, right? And I think I want to shift a little bit and talk about going forward, like. One of the things that I said last week on the show was, my family and I are trying to live with practical caution, not freak out, but not ignore it and say that, there's still people out there that are saying that this is a hoax. They don't believe it. And they're living life as like normal, to which I say, you go ahead. We'll dig a hole for you. There's got to be, but at the same time, as humans, we have to be social. We have to have fun. We have to have purpose. We have to do stuff. Like, what's the, whether it be from your business or your families, what's that next step? Jeremy, what are you going to do next?
Personally, outside of an Icon employee, I've got a lot of crap here in the garage that needs work. I just bought a house in January, so I'm freaking out a little bit about that. But I'm gonna mow my lawn. I'm gonna spend time, gardening. I might get a green thumb. I'm painting a motorcycle tank. I'm just trying to, learn some new skills and kind of become a better person. This weekend, my big plan is to,
this shutdown's not going to last long enough for you to fully become a better person.
Oh,
thank you for sharing
that's a long process. But, personally, that's my goal, is just catch up on a lot of things around the house. Maybe talk to my wife a little bit more than usual. Just really try to take this time to kind of center myself and really realize about what's important. I mean, at the end of the day, a roof over my head and food on the table, it's really opened my eyes in this last week that's what's important.
Mm-hmm.
And toilet paper too. I've got to go out and stock up and get low. So
it is crazy.
Honestly, the personal side of things, the personal side of things, that's where I'm at. I'm staying home, trying to do my part and not spreading my germs around. So probably a lot of garage time and whatnot. And I think there's probably a lot of gearheads and off-roaders out there that are in the same boat. Like, hey, this is I see Jason's RC car in the background.
Yeah.
We're gonna play with that. We're gonna nerd out and just sit at home.
And on that note, Clay Croft, Expedition Overland, they did a top 10 things an overlander can do during the shutdown, and different things you can do to your rig to clean it up and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. Rory, what are you doing? What's the next steps?
Honestly, this weekend, my dog died like 3 months ago, and I'm going to pick up the dog shit in the backyard finally.
That's all plan, bro. Maybe we didn't go to so many Cub Scout meetings. You could do that sooner.
That's right. Better see you more often, DeMello. With that being said, I'm going to use that as an opportunity to parlay into something that's really important, not only in the overland industry, but a lot of industries. And the reason I have time is because right now during the spring, I'm not at events. I should have been at an event this weekend. Mm-hmm. Which would have been the 4 Wheel Parts Truck Fest in Long Beach. Next weekend, I should have been at the Keystone Big Show in Grapevine, Texas. For the average Joe, Keystone Automotive is the largest aftermarket, or one of the largest aftermarket parts distributors in the nation. A lot of stuff's been canceled. Keystone, who's huge wholesale manufacturers, I can't tell you how much they're going to lose, but I'm going to tell you they're going to lose their ass. And that's a bad thing unless you're a middle-aged woman, seriously, that's their big show. And for a lot of vendors or manufacturers like Trigger or Icon, DeMello, not having that opportunity to reach that end customer at that big trade show is a huge hit. We have pre-show orders, we have post-show orders, we have pre-show discounts, we have show incentives, and a lot of us do a lot of wholesale trade shows during the season. And then we walk into Overland Expo.
Has there been any official announcement on that yet?
So I'll speak right now. Lindsay Hubley and her sister Jessica Karcher, I believe it is. They're the Hubley family. They are really, really well-known people in the events world in the automotive community. Their family started, their father, Bruce, started Family Events, which was sold to Bonnier. They used to run the Hot Rod Power Tour. They started all the 4-wheel jamborees across the country. This is a family that has roots in automotive events planning. They bought Overland Expo a couple of years ago under the name Lodestone Events. Last year was their first year as the host. Lindsay, who's the CEO, I would assume, great friend, volunteered with me in SEMA. She's freaking out right now. She's depressed, and you've got a lot of people putting pressure on them as an events company. Hey, are we having Overland Expo or not? Right now, it's currently tentatively planned to continue because no one knows what next week's going to bring. And it's hard for them because everyone wants them to just cancel or say yes. Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, if you're the NFL, you never want to cancel the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a couple months out. I thought it was kind of asinine when Gavin Newsom said, hey, kids are out of school till the 15th or 13th of April. And then 2 days later, he said, we're out of school till the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I think it's smart and calculated for someone that's in the events community to say, hey, we're going to press pause. We've got time. When we get down to within 30 days and they haven't made an announcement, I think that it's fair for people to get pushy. Yeah. But I think a month is a great amount of lead time to say, hey, we're not going to be able to make this happen. But they're scrambling. They've got their eye on the game. They're definitely paying attention. It's not that they're greedy people by any means. None of us are greedy. If we were greedy, we wouldn't be selling auto parts. We'd be selling dust masks in a time of crisis. But realistically, honestly, they're good people, and they want to give people that answer. They just don't know.
Yeah, and I don't fault them for waiting. Like, for example, Big Bear Forest Fest was canceled just the other day, and that's June. And I'm, so my wife's done a bunch of events, and I know that there's a threshold. There's a line that once you cross, you don't get deposits back. You don't get, people have to do. I get all that, and I'm not judging them for making that decision. It's right for them. But looking at June, I think all of us want to be optimistic that come June, I can get in my truck and go hit the trail. I mean, if June hits and we're still in this position, I think we're all going to be having different conversations. So
yeah, I won't be
You're
here
stir
because I can't
crazy.
afford this AT&T bill. That's
yeah.
Over here.
Yeah. So I agree. Like that, give them a chance to get closer and figure it out.
yeah, and
I am that
and
guy,
to every
though. I have been bugging Sean every damn day, so I feel horrible. But that's an event where Rory will go out with a 10x20 or whatnot. And this year, with our success from previous years at the Overland Expo, we were going to drag the semi out. We were going to have 4 to 5 vehicles. We were trying to bring ambassadors out, and so that's the other side of the spectrum where that was more or less our halo event for the year. We really wanted to double down. And so you have guys like me, and I'm sorry, Rory, you can pass this to Lindsay. I apologize, but I've been bugging their staff almost every day because I'm trying to figure out, the logistics, the budget, all that kind of stuff. So
It's a huge
it's tough.
investment.
I mean, everyone's getting stressed from every angle. Sorry about that, Christian. Go
Yeah.
for it.
What were you saying, Christian?
No, I was just going to amplify that. It's a huge investment for you guys to do that, and logistically getting all that equipment out there and getting it sorted and figuring out who, what staff you're going to bring and all that. It's a huge lift, and the sooner you know, the better. We're planning on doing a installation with you guys. We've got Las Vegas Land Rover we're installing, and we're doing a kind of a hotel for a bunch of folks out there. And yeah, I totally agree. It's a huge lift, and we got to know the sooner the better. But at the same time, being on the production side of events, people asking you is not going to help anything.
Well, I'm also in the camp of I kind of want this virus to either shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
But either start killing mass people so we can take it seriously and we just stay the fuck home for 2 weeks, or just fucking go away like a flu. Like I don't. You pick your choose which one you want to do. But this in between state where we're not really sure. Do I send my employees home? Do we keep working because we can? Do we plan for this event? The events are huge. Rory's right, 100%. Like those events are huge. I've already had 2 canceled already. Overland Expo. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. I mean, we want to be safe, but what's going to happen? We have Tundra Sedona, Overland Expo, FJ Summit.
Our Toyota Jamboree, yeah.
I got canceled already. So
put it in perspective, Christian. EDC. How many shift pods get deployed at EDC? And that's in May. And is that going to happen? That's we think in our world, we think that we're huge at Overland Expo with maybe 20,000 people at the most. EDC's got how many? How many Trustafarians are out there with lots of money? And
what is EDC? Oh, the electronic
Electric Daisy Carnival.
Daisy Carnival. Yeah, you know what? When I was out there,
go meet my friend Molly.
I started throwing raves a long time ago when I was really young, and I went to EDC when I was a little older, and I remember thinking, "Holy crap, this is the greatest show on earth! It is absolutely spectacular." They've got the Camp EDC is 4,800 units of Shift Pod 2.
Whoa!
It's a massive lift.
What's going on inside those shift pods? How do you sanitize those things at the end of the show?
You know what? There's a reason they banned black light.
Am I the only one that wants Rory to fix the hole in his wall? It's really bugging me, Rory.
every time Rory gets up, there's holes there, and then Tyler's gone. Somehow Tyler left the meeting. I don't know where Tyler went.
Maybe he had to go through.
But so Jason, I didn't ask you what's your kind of philosophy going forward. How are you guys handling it?
It's one day at a time. Monday I'm going in and we're gonna see what we can do. It's very difficult to plan one day to plan out the future because we don't know what's gonna happen. But I'll keep pushing forward. I mean, we've been around for a while, and I mean, we survived through the 2008 crash, which that was rough, but we made it through. And this is just another cutting stone along the way. It's gonna cut us, make us a little sharper. So. We'll do what we have to do to make it through this.
Well, I'm thinking since you've got some downtime, you're going to have a lot of time to do some R&D on the new Ranger. I mean, I'm just saying.
When you dropping it off?
Oh, there you go.
When you dropping it off?
Oh, I will drop it
Don't
off
worry,
right
bro, I got
now.
you covered. I got you covered, dude. As soon as I get that container out of Portugal.
No, he didn't want to fall off.
Do some schmoosum. I'll go drop the keys off at your house right now. But I mean, that's it. I'm obviously being sarcastic, but I mean, those are. I mean, I don't know that for you guys that are like specific to like either a vehicle or a smaller. What's I'm looking for? A smaller category would, and I'm asking because I don't know. Would branching out to be able to do products for other vehicles would that help soften it and spread the load a little bit? And or does it make sense to have just I do this well and I'm the best at it and stick with that? I'm asking because I don't know.
I'll answer.
The lift kit for Prius. Come on.
Wait. I show up to Cub Scout meetings, Jason. I can go first.
Go ahead. You win.
Jason's kids and my kids' Cub Scout packing never shows up except for Halloween. Anyway.
Good one. Make them funner.
So that's a double-edged sword. So you can go and own something, or you could be really broad. Look at companies like DeMello. I'm going to use it as you started with Toyota, FJ, Tacoma, 4Runner. That's a great market right now. Great market. Most of our manufacturers in that market have massive lead times because there's such a demand. But if I were to go and make Jeep bumpers, guess what? There's 10,000 bumpers made in China for $200 sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, those niche markets are great as long as they're paying out. Having your eye on the prize and being first to market and understanding where the market's going is a great thing. But we're all searching for dollar bills in the same wallet. Whether you're selling a switch box, a tent, a bumper, or a suspension system, we're all fighting for the same dollars. And there's big guys like Icon that have more money to spend than little guys like Trigger. So how is your product unique, and how does it have a benefit to someone that stands out above that marketing message is really the strongest attribute that any manufacturer can have in any segment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and I think, having the three of you on, well, the four of you, but I mean, the three of you that are smaller manufacturers, when you look at, what Christian's doing and the type of product that he's making, and that he was able to kind of shift and do some different things, that's a little bit more difficult in, I would think, the hand built bumper category. And
No. You gave me a great idea. Monday morning, I'm going to start making metal breathing masks out of America. Metal breathing masks, okay? They may break your neck, but they'll keep you safe.
I want mine to look like the Punisher, like with the long skull, like
you're into a Darth Vader, a Punisher. We got them all covered.
Yeah, Bane. There you go.
I'll model that one.
Nobody knew who I was till I had the mask.
I think Tyler's back. Tyler, you there?
Nobody cared who you are till you had the mask, by the way.
There you go. There's the quote.
Okay. Yeah. But I mean, like, finding ways to shift. I mean, talking to, outside of this group here, finding a way to shift. There are a lot of people that are either getting laid off completely or going on furlough for indefinite periods of time. That they're going to survive. They're going to have to find a way to shift. I mean, I always think back to like my entire life. I've had a background in construction, and I always think, if I lost my job doing what I'm doing now, I'll put a tool belt back on and I'll go back to work. Well, if those construction jobs aren't there, I can't go back to construct. Besides the fact that I'm old and broken, I can't really work anymore. That construction job may not be there, so there's always got to be something, to shift to. And I just don't, I'm hoping that
you showed up at Jason's house with only a tool belt on. I promise you'd make money.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah! No modeling, but you just told me you walked over my joke.
I don't know that there's any product I could model that would make anybody want to buy it. But I mean, I think I do like the fact that we're all having this conversation, and this is something Jeremy and I talked about before this happened. Was have the conversation about the elephant in the room. This is happening. It's real. It's part of our life now. and it has real impact. At the same time, we need to acknowledge the fact that we have to continue to stay connected somehow, stay relevant somehow. And these kinds of conversations, these video chats and discussions, and, that's a way to do that. Jeremy and I have had some conversations about exploring other ways to leverage digital technology to create large groups that we can hang out with. And, I think the more we can do that, and I think, this is something we didn't talk about, Jeremy. I think people need that interaction. And if we give them an opportunity to have the interaction without having to go outside, that's a service. We're doing something to help people go, to not have to do that.
And I just sitting here talking with you guys. I mean, I see Rory way too much as it is, and I see Jason pretty regularly. But this feels normal, and in a time where I haven't felt normal for the last week and a half.
Yeah,
and I'm not scared. I'm not paranoid. I haven't felt right. It is, my wife and I both.
That's a lie.
nervous.
You just bought a house. You're scared as shit.
Okay, yeah, I'm scared as shit. 100%, but. Sitting here BSing with you guys feels right. And Cody, that's kind of what we were talking about. We wanted to go out on Monday and shoot content on the trail. And between Monday and now, it became taboo to go do that.
Yeah.
And at least this right now, BSing with you guys and hanging out and talking about our jobs and our industry and what we're going to do this weekend, this feels normal. And this is something that I think we can, as long as this shitstorm lasts, we can continue to do this and bring other people on and have these conversations, because this feels like what we should be doing.
Yeah, this is the worst zombie apocalypse ever, by the way.
Right, totally, dude.
Minus the Flocka.
I thought I'd be dual wielding some ARs about now, but no.
I have my whole business plan set up for it. Like, we were going to start doing zombie apocalypse vehicles. I can't even do that. What am I going to build a vehicle for? To combat a virus? Like, come on.
Well, you need to make a vehicle that's got a HEPA filter windshield, and so it filters out any of the particles in the air. That's what you need.
Hey, Cody, you are onto something. A HEPA filter snorkel insert. There you go. That would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, don't hang up here, but I do need to stop the recording. I just got a notice that I've got a low disk space because this thing's been running for so long. But I'm gonna stop the recording. But
better than a virus.
Yes, we'll stop the recording. We'll keep talking afterwards. But I think this is very cool that we were able to do this, and I appreciate the fact that all of us were able to have real conversations about what's going on and still laugh and have a good time about it. So thank you guys for joining us. I'll probably air this on the upcoming podcast, the audio version. Jeremy maybe will take the video if it all worked out, and we'll post it up on YouTube for people to watch, and then go from there. But hold on a second. Let me stop the recording, and then we'll go from there.
I'm Presley, and thank you for listening. Thank you to Max and Taye. Thank you to Icon. If you want to be on the show, call 951-394-DIRT. Thank you to Ryan Torino with all of the music.